नमस्कार दोस्तों, एकेडमी डिसीजन चैनल में आप सबका स्वागत है। हम फिर आज जा रहे हैं चर्चा करने के लिए इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। इन द लास्ट क्लास वी हैड डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द कंपनी रूल which was extending from 1757 to 1857. In this class we are going to discuss about two modules. They are the Crown Rule and the Proclamation of Queen Victoria, as well as Indian Council Act 1858, as well as Indian Councils Act 1861. So let us delve into the topic. As you know, friends, the great 1857 revolt gave a death blow to the company rule, because it just changed the company rule, because the revolt was a severe one and the entire trust of the British Parliament was eroded over the company, because the Parliament thought that the company was not in a position to rule over India for a longer period of time. So after 1857 revolt, in 1858 Queen's proclamation came into being, but before that the bill for the transfer of the control of Government of India from East India Company to the Crown was introduced by Lord Palmerston, the then Prime Minister of Britain. But due to his resignation, it was produced before the House by Edward Henry Stanley, who was the Secretary of State for India first time, but at that time he led the bill in the Parliament of Britain. The bill was titled as the Act for Better Government of India. Remember this? The Act for the Better Government of India. It was passed by the British Parliament on 2nd August 1858. 2 अगस्त 1858 को ये बिल ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट के द्वारा पास हुआ और ये कार्यक्षम हुआ। ये बिल जो कार्यक्षम होकर द एक्ट ऑफ 1858 हुआ, उसका प्रमुख विशेषताएं क्या है, इसके बारे में चर्चा करते हैं। द एक्ट एंडेड द कंपनीज रूल इन इंडिया एंड द पावर वाज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम द कंपनी टू द क्राउन। आज यू नो, in 1853 Act, there was no extension given to the East India Company. So then it was crystal clear that the company rule was going to an end soon, but it was not fixed. But 1857 revolt came as a pretext for the British Parliament, for which it took over the power from East India Company and power was transferred to the Crown. Means the British Parliament, the Parliament of Britain now becomes the authority in relation to India. Previously, the Court of Directors as well as the Board of Control, they were totally abolished, and instead that power was transferred to the Principal Secretary of State for India, or in short, it is the Secretary of State for India. Secretary of State means the Foreign Minister there, but one post for India was created, Secretary of State for India. That person was the member of the British Cabinet, as well as he was responsible to the Parliament for his acts of omission and commission. And one India Council was also made. That India Council comprised 15 members. But the remnants of the Court of Directors was not ended. The Court of Directors in the last sponsored 7 candidates, 7 persons, and the Crown appointed 8 persons as the advisors of the Secretary of State for India, and India Council was comprising the Secretary of State for India as well as 15 members. The Governor General, who was the administrative head of India, got the title of Viceroy, and the first Viceroy was Lord Canning, who was the last Governor General in the company rule and the first Viceroy of the British Parliament rule. That means the Crown rule, the first Viceroy was Lord Canning, and the Viceroy means representative, Pratinidhi. He was the representative of the Crown and had to serve under the authority of the Secretary of State for India. The Secretary of State for India was the head in relation to India, and under him the Viceroy was serving as the head of the administration in India. The Secretary of the State was residing in London, whereas the Viceroy was residing in India. The Secretary of State for India was considered as a body corporate, means it could sue and be sued. उनके नाम पर केस किया जा सकता है और वो दूसरे के नाम पर केस कर सकते हैं। कहाँ कहाँ? इंग्लैंड और इंडिया। उनको पहली बार एक लीगल स्टेटस दिया गया। The Act of 1858 was significant in a long way. How? It usurped a new era in Indian history, bringing an end to the company's rule in India. That means the administration of the company was ended there for India, and instead the British Parliament became supreme and sacrosanct in relation to India. So for India it was a change of administration, but that change was a mere formal change, not substantial change. ये एक दिखावा था, it was a cosmetic change. वास्तव में भारत का ऐसा कुछ खास परिवर्तन नहीं हुआ, ये सिर्फ परिवर्तन नाम के वास्ते हुआ, हमारे लिए ये कुछ फर्क नहीं लाया। ये कानून की घोषणा के बाद 1858 की कानून की घोषणा के बाद महारानी विक्टोरिया का एक घोषणा पत्र आया, जो कि 1 नवंबर 1858 में इलाहाबाद में एक ग्रांड दरबार हुआ और ये दरबार में लॉर्ड कैनिंग ने इसको घोषणा पत्र को पढ़ा और उसमें ये कहा गया कि भारत में अब भारतीयों को सरकारी नौकरी पर रखा जाएगा इन द सर्विसेज ऑफ द क्राउन, और ये भी कहा गया कि भारत के मामले में ब्रिटिश सरकार अब कोई राज्य जय नहीं करेंगे और जो राजा तथा जमींदारों का राज्य चला गया था उनको वो अपना जमींदारी और राज्य वापस मिल जाएगा, सब लोगों को क्षमा दिया जाएगा, सिवाय जो लोग ब्रिटिश नागरिकों की हत्या में शामिल है उनको छोड़ के बाकी सब लोगों को क्षमा दिया जाएगा, राज क्षमा। तो इसी प्रकार ये महारानी का घोषणा पत्र और ये कानून अपने आप में ब्रिटिश सरकार के इतिहास में और भारत की शासन में एक परिवर्तन ले आया। नाउ इन ऑर्डर टू रिमेंबर वी हैव prepared a mind map. Let us see the mind map. So the Act of 1858, it brought the changes. What were the changes? Now the first changes were the end of company rule and crown rule was started. In short, the Governor General became Viceroy. It was the representative of the crown in India. In London, there was a change. The Court of Directors as well as the Board of Control were abolished, and instead the Secretary of State for India along with an India Council comprising 15 members were appointed. The Secretary of State and the Council was a body corporate on which case can be lodged, and they can lodge case against anybody, so they were treated as a body corporate. In order to recapitulate what we have learned, now we have made some very short answer type questions, fill in the blanks knowledge type questions, so that your knowledge could be reinforced. So let us go for the recapitulation. Gas introduced 1858 bill in the British Parliament. It was Edward Henry Stanley who became the first Secretary of State for India. He led the bill in the British Parliament in 1858. The second question comes. 1858 bill was titled as an Act for Good Government in India. It was called as an Act for Good Government in India. The third question is 1858 bill was passed on which day? It was on 2nd August 1858. The next question comes on the act ended dash rule in India and power was transferred from dash to dash. The act ended company rule in India and power was transferred from the company to the crown. India Council comprised 15 members to aid and advise the Secretary of States for India. The next question is 1858 Act changed the designation of a Governor General to Viceroy. So now Indian Councils Act of 1861 AD, let us discuss about it. Before discussing about the Act, we should discuss about the backdrop. what were the events that led to 1861 Act? 1833 Act, which started the centralization of legislation, in which, as you know, the legislative powers of Bombay and Madras were taken away, and now centralization became the order of the day. So many provincial governments, especially Bombay and Madras, they resented the taking away of their legislative powers because they were powerless. So the 1861 Act was preceded by the antagonism or the dissatisfaction of the provincial governments. Now, Act of 1853 set up legislative council, which was just grown into a type of a debating society or a small parliament. It led for 1861 Act because the legislative council, which was started by the Act of 1853, put forth in the minds of many of the non-official members to become participant in the British administration. So they wanted more powers. They wanted the enlargement of the council in India. After 1857, it was felt that there was a lack of contract and understanding between the government and the governed, means between the people and between the government. So something like a safety valve to vent the grievances should be done. लोगों का मन में क्या है वो जानने के लिए एक प्लेटफॉर्म जरूरी है, एक फोरम जरूरी है। तो ये फोरम के लिए का जो एक्ट है वो कुछ व्यवस्था किया। तो व्हाट आर द मेन प्रोविजंस ऑफ 1861 एक्ट? लेट अस डिस्कस अबाउट दैट। 1861 एक्ट स्टार्टेड द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन। पहले सेंट्रलाइजेशन हुआ था और ये सेंट्रलाइजेशन का शुरुआत 1833 में हुआ था और 1853 में ये सेंट्रलाइजेशन बिल्कुल कंप्लीट हुआ। तो अब फ्रॉम 1861 एक्ट ट्रू डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन वाज स्टार्टेड। What are the steps through which decentralization was started? It was a change in size and composition of the central legislature, in which not less than 6 and not more than 12 additional members were nominated by the Governor General for a period of 2 years, and half of them were to be non-officials. Let me explain. Governor General के द्वारा कम से कम 6 और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 12 एडिशनल मेंबर को नॉमिनेट किया जाएगा, जो कि 2 साल तक कार्य करेंगे। वो एक स्मॉल लेजिस्लेचर के भांति कार्य करेंगे और उनमें से कम आधे से ज़्यादा लोग या कम से कम आधे लोग नॉन ऑफिशियल रहेंगे, मतलब वो कोई सरकारी कर्मचारी नहीं होंगे। इसमें 3 भारतीयों को, जो कि 1857 की जो बगावत था, ये बगावत में ब्रिटिश सरकार को मदद किए थे, मतलब ब्रिटिश सरकार के जो हिमायती थे, उन 3 लोगों को उसमें शामिल किया गया, जो कि राजा थे या प्रभावशाली व्यक्ति थे। वो कौन थे? ना दी राजा ऑफ बनारस, दूसरे में आए दी महाराजा ऑफ पातियाला और तीसरे में सर दिनकर राव, एक मराठा नेता जो कि ब्रिटिश सरकार का बहुत बड़ा हिमायती थे। उन 3 लोगों को पहली बार भारत की जो सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेचर में एडिशनल मेंबर्स के रूप में रखा गया। तो ये पहला कदम था कि कोई भी भारतीय 1861 की कानून के तहत गवर्नर जनरल की जो सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेचर में एडिशनल मेंबर के रूप में शामिल हो पाए। खास करके ये भारतीय लोगों के लिए ऐसा कोई बड़ा सा उपलब्धि नहीं था, फिर भी ये भारतीय लोगों को पहली बार शामिल किया गया, पहले शामिल नहीं किया जाता था। और द एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल ऑफ गवर्नर जनरल वाज एनलार्ज्ड बाय द एडिशन ऑफ द 5th मेंबर। ये तो लेजिस्लेचर में 6 से 12 लोगों को रखा गया। अब एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल जो था, जो कि कार्यपालिका था, उसमें 5वां मेंबर को रखा गया, 5th मेंबर, हु वाज टू बी ए जूरिस्ट, कोई कानून विशारद उसमें रहना चाहिए, ऐसा बंदोबस्त हुआ। आप लोगों को ये मालूम है कि 1853 एक्ट में भी लॉ मेंबर को रखा गया था और थॉमस बेबिंगटन मैकाउले वाज द फर्स्ट मेंबर in the Governor General's Executive Council, but he did not have the right to vote there. Next, the Secretary of State retained the power to appoint the Commander-in-Chief as an extraordinary member. Commander-in-Chief को भी Governor General के Executive Council में रखा जाता था. The Executive Council of Governor General was enlarged by addition of non-officials. अब नॉन ऑफिशियल लोगों को भी उनमें शामिल किया गया और बॉम्बे तथा मद्रास ये प्रोविंसेस का जो लेजिस्लेटिव पावर ले लिया गया था, ये पावर को अब उनको वापस दिया गया। आप लोगों को मालूम है 1833 में उनका लेजिस्लेटिव पावर चला गया था और अब उनको वो पावर वापस आया और इनके बावजूद न्यू लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स वेयर formulated or new legislative councils were constituted for Bengal, नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न प्रोविंसेस, पंजाब, जो कि 1862, 1886 और 1897 में आए। तो इनके लिए लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल बनाया गया जो कि प्रांतीय सरकार थे और प्रांतों थे। तो इसी प्रकार कानून कुछ मशहूर परिवर्तन लाया। और क्या किया गया, इसमें पोर्टफोलियो सिस्टम का इंट्रोडक्शन हुआ। लॉर्ड कैनिंग जो कि पहला वाइसरॉय थे आफ्टर द एक्ट ऑफ 1858, ही डिवाइडेड वेरियस डिपार्टमेंट्स अमंगस्ट द काउंसिल मेंबर्स। सो एक एक विभाग को बांटा गया और एक एक विभाग में एक एक मेंबर जो है उसका उत्तरदायित्व निर्वाह किया। तो तब से ये जो आज का जो कैबिनेट सिस्टम अभी हमारा चल रहा है, कैबिनेट सिस्टम, ये कैबिनेट सिस्टम में क्या होता है, द कैबिनेट जस्ट स्विम एंड सिंक्स टुगेदर, ये एक साथ तैरते हैं और एक साथ डूबते हैं। जो कैबिनेट रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, बिकॉज द पोस्ट वार इपोक हैज चेंज्ड द पार्लियामेंटरी फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इनटू ए कैबिनेट सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, ये कहा गया है। तो ये कैबिनेट सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट आज जो बन गया है, जो कि कैबिनेट पार्लियामेंटरी फॉर्म में सबसे पावरफुल बन गया है, तब से इसका नींव डाला गया। इट एम्पावर्ड द वाइसरॉय टू इशू ऑर्डिनेंसेस, वाइसरॉय अध्यादेश जारी कर सकेंगे। और आज जैसा अध्यादेश का लाइफ है 6 महीना, तब तक भी ये 6 महीना था। विद इन 6 months इट मस्ट बी पास्ड बाय द लेजिस्लेचर। तो ये कुछ प्रमुख विशेषताएं थे 1861 एक्ट के। तो ये एक्ट का विशेषता क्यों है, व्हाट वेयर द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ द 1861 एक्ट? फर्स्ट टाइम इट इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द लेजिस्लेटिव डिवोल्यूशन, इट वाज द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन। डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन वाज स्टार्टेड, as I had already told that from 1757 to 1857 was the period of centralization, whereas from 1858 to 1947 period saw the era of decentralization, which was evolutionary decentralization or gradual decentralization, धीरे धीरे विकेंद्रीकरण और डिवोल्यूशन करता गया और ये चलता हुआ आगे आगे जाकर बिल्कुल 1919 में ये कंप्लीट हुआ और 1935 में और व्यापक भी हुआ। इट इनिशिएटेड ए प्रोसेस ऑफ इंडियन एसोसिएशन इन द लेजिस्लेशन। इंडियन एसोसिएशन पहली बार, जैसा कि बताया गया, महाराजा ऑफ पातियाला दिनकर राव, इन सब लोगों को जो रखा गया, ये पहली बार भारतीय लोगों को गवर्नर जनरल की जो लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल में एसोसिएटेड मेंबर के रूप में रखा गया। इट इनिशिएटेड रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ लोकल नीड्स एंड लोकल नॉलेज बाय मीन्स ऑफ लोकल काउंसिल्स। ये लोकल काउंसिल का भी गठन हुआ जिनके द्वारा लोकल नीड क्या है, एक क्षेत्रीय जरूरतें क्या है, उसको पता करने के लिए जो लोकल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल का गठन हुआ, जिसके बारे में हम चर्चा कर चुके हैं। इसका डिमेरिट क्या था, इसका दोष क्या था? ये कानून का 1861 कानून का दोष ये है कि नो अटेम्प्ट वाज मेड टू डिमार्केट द लेजिस्लेटिव पावर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल एंड लोकल लेजिस्लेचर्स। and the Governor General could legislate for the whole of India. Though there was a legislative devolution, but there was not a clear-cut demarcation between the central and the local legislature or the provincial legislature. As you already know, now we have a union list, state list, concurrent list, and in addition to them, residuary powers. And everything is written in black and white in the constitution, but there was no clear-cut demarcation where the central government's jurisdiction ended and where the local legislature's jurisdiction starts. There was no mention of it. The local councils created were mere committees for assisting and advising in legislative work. They were just the sycophants because there was no system of election. So the Governor General or the Viceroy and the governors, they choose the persons who were their supporters, especially the Indians who were in their good books, they choose them. So no Indian of a great stature or any nationalist outlook or commitment was chosen by the administrators. So it was just mere a committee for assisting and advising in legislative work. They did not have any substantial power to change the way of the administration. So Charles Wood, the author of the act, as you know, in 1854 Charles Wood forwarded his dispatch. It is called as Wood's dispatch. So Charles Wood, then the author of the act, who made this act to become an actuality, he clarified that our local councils should function as the darbar of an Indian ruler, not as a parliamentary bodies. Because in the darbars, the nobles, they express their opinion before the ruler, but the ruler was not bound by their advice. So clear cut, they put forth their point. उन्होंने खुला बोल दिया कि ये जो हम बनाए हैं काउंसिल्स, लोकल काउंसिल्स, इसका लक्ष्य ये नहीं कि इनका जो मत है वो मत तो हमारे लिए मान्य होगा, हम उसको मान सकते हैं या ना मान सकते हैं, लेकिन उनका मत को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए, उनका मत जो है उसको प्रकाश करने के लिए, उसको हम व्यवस्था किए हैं कि उनका मत कैसे सामने आए, लेकिन उसको मानने के लिए हम बाध्य नहीं है. So now the mind map, you see Indian Councils Act of 1861, in which 6 to 12 additional members were nominated by the Governor General for a period of 2 years. Now mind map, Indian Councils Act 1861, addition of 6 to 12 members in the Governor General's Legislative Council in center. Their period or their tenure was 2 years and half of them should be non-official. There was a provision. Next, the legislative powers of Bombay and Madras were restored. Now decentralization and devolution of power was there. And in Governor General's Executive Council, one jurist was added and a new legislative council were made for Bengal, northwest provinces and Punjab. The Raja of Banaras, Maharaja of Patiala, Dinkar, Rao, the three were chosen in the legislative council proposed by the Governor General. Their name was nominated by him and the process of decentralization was started. So in order to recapitulate our knowledge, let us go for the short answer type fill in the blanks question, so that whatever we have learned, that should be stored in our memory. So let us delve. The first question is 1861 Act Executive Council of Governor General was enlarged by the addition of a dash who was a jurist. It was the fifth member. It was the fifth member who was to be a jurist. The second question is the 1861 Act restored the legislative power to Madras and Bombay provinces. Next question is 1861 Act new legislative council were created for Bengal, Northwest provinces and Punjab. 1861 Act empowered the Viceroy to issue ordinance, adhyadesh, having the life of 6 months. 1861 Act laid the foundation of cabinet system in India. It was the starting of cabinet system by Lord Canning by dividing departments between the executive council members. So Vyas was the brain behind the Act of 1861. It was Charles Wood who was the brain behind the Act of 1861. So with this, our 2 modules of the Act of 1858 and 1861 completed. So thank you very much. So I request you friends to subscribe my channel Academia TCN. So thank you very much.